Welcome to the Swift Half, your weekly session of chat from the UK OCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us for the Swift Half.
You're listening to the sixth most popular podcast for listeners who think that Ace of Spades is Alan Titchmarsh's favourite gardening implement.
Hey, my friend, welcome to the Swift Half. How are you?
I'm great, Alan, and I've got to ask straight away the question that all the listeners want to know.
What's that question?
How was your Valentine's Day?
My Valentine's Day was absolutely beautiful. I've got to tell you what I say. We didn't go out. We had planned to go out, and then we changed our mind because we decided we weren't going to pander to commercialism. However, I bought her a balloon and a card and some flowers and all the other things that you do with commercialism. But we decided to stop in and we cooked. We cooked together. We had a lobster and prawn starter, which was really, really nice, with some chilies and garlic in it. And then we had steak, because you can't beat a nice piece of steak, and followed it off with profiteroles. So beautiful tea, and we just sat and talked for about 2 hours afterwards. Oh, we danced as well. We danced in the living room. I don't know about you, but I just love dancing with my missus. So yeah, we danced in the living room for an hour or so. So yeah, I was very romantic, Ian. I was a very romantic person. What about yours?
Well, I'll tell you about mine in a second, but I have to call back to the meal. Did you make that yourselves, or was that a Marks and Spencer Valentine's meal?
Now you mention it, it could well have been a Marks and Spencer Valentine's meal that we pandered to commercialism again.
Hey, no judgment, no judgment. I was just upset that there was no Marks and Spencers near me when I panicked after recording this and heading to work. And yeah, no Marks and Spencers. So I went in Tesco. And you know what? The Tesco Valentine's meal deal is not much cop.
Is it not? What did you get in the Valentine's meal deal?
Absolutely nothing. So we had a takeaway.
I like it. Takeaways are good. Takeaways are good. Indian, Chinese.
Oh.
It obviously wasn't that good.
No, I'm trying to figure out what you describe it as.
Mexican?
Well, the place is called Pizza Garibaldi, but we don't have pizza there. It actually does quite nice meals, like probably stuff you'd get from a restaurant. So Jen had I want to say a salmon in a nice sauce with some rice and a side portion of chips. And yeah, I had dirty fries with well, it said dirty fries and beef. Okay. What I got was a load of fries with a crumbled up beef burger on top.
Oh, no. Oh, that's awful, Ian. Oh.
Yeah. So we cut the beef burger and then just cut it up and thrown it in. It's like, you know what? I would have ordered anything else if you'd been honest. You know, call it a smash burger, dirty fries or something.
Yeah, that's not a great meal. There's a pub in the Peak District. I can't think its name. The name will come to me in a minute. And it's in a place called Bradfield, and they do it's called pigging great meals. And imagine dirty fries with different things on. So they do it with pulled pork in barbecue sauce. But then what they do is they smother it in like this cheesy sauce here. So it comes in a bowl, smothered in sauce and that. There's only one pub in Bradfield. So if anyone's out that way, check it out. I can't think of its name, but it's an amazing pub, and they're only 10 quid. But they do like a spicy Chinese one as well and everything else. And I was expecting that when he said dirty fries with beef, and I was expecting dirty fries and then half a cow on the top.
That's what I was expecting. I was expecting some kind of, I won't say steak, but just some kind of cut like brisket or something. It was smothered in cheese. To be fair, it was probably my whole weekend's calories. Thankfully, I only ate about half of it because it was just meh. But Jen's looked delicious. She really enjoyed it. And isn't that the most important thing on Valentine's Day?
That is all that matters. That is all that matters. We had alcohol-free mojitos as well.
Oh, You know what? I got through those alcohol-free cocktails that my Secret Santa bought me. They actually didn't last very long. They didn't even make it through Christmas. They were delicious. I need to find out where they were bought from. And so, Santa, if you can reach out to Alan and he'll pass it on, let me know because I'd love to buy more.
He'd love to buy more. I'll find out. I don't even know who it was, but yeah, Secret Santa, let me know. Talking about drinking, what are you drinking tonight?
I've gone back to an old classic, Alan. Okay.
Go on.
I've gone back to a sponsor. I've gone back to Prime Cherry Freeze. Again, remember, we've agreed for them to sponsor us. We just need them to agree to. The reason I bought this, Alan, is it's actually hilarious. It was 70p.
Oh, so was it about 2 years ago? It would have been 70 quid, and now it's 70p.
70p in the local Londis. Allegedly, it's out of date, but honestly, I think this stuff would outlast the cockroaches if we had nuclear war.
It's probably got. I've done a podcast to earlier on this week with James from Enduro Sports, and he talked about not just that type of drinks, but things like that. They've got so much sugar in, and it's put me off all them drinks for life, I think, now.
But on the plus side, it's killing off probably every bacteria known to man.
Exactly, and that's the key. That stomach of yours has got no microorganisms inside it.
Oh, I'm from Lancashire. I don't think we have them anyway. That's a Yorkshire thing.
That's microorganisms are a Yorkshire thing.
What are you drinking, Alan?
Well, Ian, I am this week. I am fasting. I am doing virtually 24 hours fasts with only water. So I'm on Wattet again tonight. I'm having one meal a day, fasting for 24 hours, but just drinking water in between it. And I'm on sparkling water. As people know, I got these sent to me quite a while ago from Griff down at the obstacle gym. So thank you very much. It's just really good water. So I'm drinking some more of this tonight.
That actually reminds me, when I went to Tesco's a few days ago, like, where else would I go? They had on offer Liquid Death. You know, that water that we talked about on the show previously?
Yeah.
And I was so tempted to buy some for work. And then I thought, no, that actually would look a bit weird sitting there with a can of Liquid Death on your, next to your laptop. So I decided not to and just bought the usual Tesco's on brand apple and elderflower fizzy water.
Oh, interesting. I like it.
Yeah, I'm trying desperately to lose weight again. I know this is an ongoing saga in the Swift half, but when I previously lost weight, I just drank a lot of water, that kind of thing. So I'm going to be trying my best. I know I'm on Cherry Freeze Prime tonight, but anyway, generally I'm trying my best, putting out snacks. I've removed most unhealthy food from the house. I ate it, but it's removed now. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get back to it.
I think it's hard to lose. Well, I know it's at my age, it's hard to lose weight. You being 21, it shouldn't be too hard for you to lose weight. But at my age, I don't know. I just find it very, very hard at this moment in time. I find it easy to put weight on and very hard to lose. And I've just sort of, I guess I have put a little bit more weight on recently. Over Christmas and New Year. Even though I've been training hard, I just don't seem to be losing the weight, and it's just been putting it on. But I think it's because I'm not eating the right stuff at the moment, and that's what I'm changing this week. So I'm going right back to basics. I'm trying to take out all the bread, all the carbs. No pasta, no wheat products. Taking all that and just going back to vegetables. Taking potatoes out as much, but going vegetables and meat and fish, and taking out as much dairy as I possibly can, and just trying to be clean living this week.
Yeah, I'm going to try and reduce my processed food intake as well. I don't think I can quite do what you're doing, Alan, but I'm going to do my best. But talking about doing the best, guess who's not doing their best at the moment?
Who's not doing their best?
My broadband supplier. They're terrible.
Oh no! What's up with your? You've changed. You've changed to a new broadband, so everything be all dancing, all singing now.
I changed to a new broadband, so I've changed now to, I don't even know whether it's fiber optic, invisible anti-freeze broadband. I've no clue. They fitted a new wire there, but in the process of fitting a new wire, our box has always been downstairs in the front room, always worked fine. Okay.
Yeah.
We had to move because of where our telephone wire was, and presumably because the guy fixing it didn't want to clamber on my roof. It's now in the back room. The only problem is, as you know, we live in a house that actually has real walls. So getting any kind of signal anywhere but the back room, which is kind of where nothing happens, it's a dumping ground, is quite tough, to be fair. So last week it got installed. I rang them up on the weekend and said, "Oh no, I know exactly what we'll do. This particular broadband supplier also supplies TV, so you can probably guess, but I'm not going to give them any more publicity." And they said, "Oh, tell you what, we'll send a TV engineer, and what he'll do is he'll fit these things that you were telling me about. You know, them little nesty things."
Yes, yeah, around your house.
So, like a net. Yeah, they'll fit them. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry, they'll sort it. All you got to do is lie to them and tell them that your TV's not working.
Okay.
Okay, already uncomfortable with this. But anyway, they're the experts, go along with it. They were meant to turn up on Wednesday. So work from home that day, not my usual work from home day. So called him and just said, "Look, can I do it?" And yeah, my work is great. I love my work. They're really nice when it comes to stuff like this. At the night before, I got a text saying, "Your engineer will be here between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. Cool. Yeah, I'll be working anyway. It don't matter. At 9 o'clock, got a message saying, "Your engineer will be here between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. It's like, well, he's not turning up at 8, I can assure you that. But anyway, 10:30, another message. "Your engineer will turn up between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. Okay, cutting a bit fine, but yeah, I'll go with it. 11:15, got a WhatsApp, not a text this time. WhatsApp say, "Unfortunately, your engineer's not turning up."
Oh no, that is shocking service.
Even worse was what happened next.
No, there's more. Tell me more.
There is more. Sorry, listener. We will get to OCR. No, what happened next is they encourage you to text them. So press C and you can talk to someone. And they were going back and forth. I was like, "Oh, can you just get someone to ring me? Because I'd rather not ring up because your thing that finds out where my call's going is rubbish." And I just get frustrated. I was like, "Oh no, sorry, we don't have the ability to ring back."
So this is like, I worked in call centres for a few years, 10 of them to be honest, and I do know why they don't call back, because it's an expense they don't want to incur. But it's just wrong. They should easily have the ability to call back. It's just not right, is it? It's just not. It's a customer service thing, and we talk about customer service quite a lot and offline sometimes, don't we? And, where is customer service going in this country at this moment in time? There is just not enough people helping someone else.
No, there's very much. It's more than my job's worth, or I can't be bothered.
Yeah. Rather than, okay, I'll go out my way, and I'll help you, and I'll earn the 5 stars that I'm wanting you to give me.
Yeah, absolutely. In the end, I decided to ring them up after 5 calls of yelling at the stupid electronic thing. Actually, literally yelling. Eventually, the magic word was complaint.
Oh, right. Okay.
The magic word that got me straight through to a human was complaint. I tried a lot of other variations, some not suitable for this podcast. But yeah, it got me through to a lovely person who said, "Yeah, the person you spoke to the other day was talking nonsense. All that would have happened today is the TV engineer would have turned up, would have said, 'Oh, well, your TV's working, even if it's intermittent. Your issue's your broadband. You need a broadband engineer,' and just left."
Oh.
So
yeah,
they convinced me what I needed to do was I needed to upgrade my broadband box from their current box to the super box, which will come with all these weird things you can put around your house for landmine stuff. It's
Yeah.
only £4 a month extra, apparently. But don't worry, they managed to do a deal where my TV was £4 less.
So it's free.
So technically, it's free. So well done to that person. They're sending me that, so I've got to try and install it. That could be fun. But yeah, at the moment, Alan, the listener can't see this, but I am broadcasting from the spare room because this is where the internet lives now.
Well, there we go. You can let the intern install it. You can let the intern install it.
Absolutely will. Make her earn a keep. All that £0 that we pay her.
Talking about £0, I had a conversation with someone today, and they asked me about our intern, and they actually, should we tell people who the intern is? I think most people know, but this person actually thought we had an intern in.
Really?
Yeah, that we didn't pay. We just kept in a cupboard and just made them. And you know, when you run with an intern on IROX and that, they actually thought we had an intern, and that's what we paid them for you to run with.
That's awesome. And don't tell the intern this. Please don't
Don't
tell the intern. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Right. Can we talk about nuts? Because you've had an interesting conversation about gloves or no gloves.
Yeah, so nuts is happening 1 week and 1 day today. For listening to this on Friday, you will see me down there going for 4 laps. There's going to be a lot of things going off down at nuts, which I'm going to come to shortly. However, someone has asked a question, and it is gloves. Now, we haven't had this question for quite a few years, I'm going to say, Ian. So it was asked by Ian Bennett on Facebook, thinking of keeping my hands warm, not necessarily dry, but warm, and not wind chilled when wet during World's Toughest Mudder and nuts, and I'm looking at neoprene gloves. Now, you use gloves, Ian. You know, you're a glove fan, but you don't do winter races. So the gloves you look for, what are the characteristics you're looking for, even though they're not to keep your hands warm?
Do you want the honest answer?
Yeah.
How cheap they are, because invariably I'll lose at least one.
That's a fair play. But do you not look at grip or anything like that? Are you just straight away just looking for just a cheap pair of gloves that's just going to keep your hands like free of splinters and things like that?
Well, what I generally wear is Decathlon do quite a nice pair of cheap black ones, which I think are made for rugby, and they have almost like the webbed grip on them, if that makes sense. And they are wonderful. I can't do monkey bars anyway, so it's a waste of time asking me about that. And to be fair, when I attempt monkey bars, I take them off. But for other stuff where you just need to like put your hand on something and it might be wet, like a wet wall, they are fabulous. They're really, really good. Not bought any for ages because I bought a load of pairs, and at the moment I think I've still got one left glove left and about 3 right gloves. So when that left glove leaves, I will go out and buy some more. But yeah, that's kind of what I look. If someone's looking for, honestly, if you're thinking about keeping their hands warm, I would say a regular pair of gloves like I have, whichever you fancy. So just some running gloves and bleg mitts.
And a few people have actually put that on. Look at bleg mitts and things like that. I'm not a fan of bleg mitts. I'm going to turn around honestly say they've never done anything for me. I tried them; they're not for me. I've suggested, and I'll put on here that when I used to wear gloves, and I haven't worn them for a long, long time, but it made me think: am I going to take some down to nuts? And I am going to take some down just in case. And I use Zone 3 neoprene gloves so they're designed for swimming. The reason why I use Zone 3 ones is that they've actually got grip on them as well. So you can actually use them for kayaking and canoeing and things like that. Because we all know down at nuts and WTM, you're going to need a little bit of grip. So I think they're going to be ideal. But I guess it's these questions we haven't asked for a long time. And the reason why I put it on is because I'm loving questions like this again, Ian. This means that someone's asking these questions. We've got newish people coming into the sport.
It does. Did you tell them to buy a pair of more miles as well?
No, I didn't actually. That would have been a great question. What trainers do we buy? More miles. Yeah, that's a great thing. But no, I just love the idea that gloves or no gloves, if you're going to nuts, jump on it. It's on the UK OCR Facebook group page, and comment. If you're going to wear gloves, what are you going to take down with you? Let's give as much information to these people as we can.
One suggestion I would make is I take enough pair of gloves as to last you the amount of laps you're doing. So, like you, I'd be taking 4 pair of gloves if you're going to do what I do and just a pair of running gloves. Obviously, your special neoprene ones, yeah, them getting wet doesn't matter, but there is nothing nicer. And speaking of that, depending on how fast you're planning to run, if you are doing 4 laps, I would absolutely recommend, if you can, taking a fresh pair of socks and maybe a fresh pair of trainers, because there's nothing that lifts the spirits more than putting on a fresh pair of socks.
Completely agree. I'm taking extra socks. I'm changing my socks halfway around, hopefully. So I say hopefully because as everyone knows, I haven't done 4 laps yet. I've tried it, attempted it 4 or 5 times and not done it. This time I'm going to do it 100% convinced. While we're talking about nuts, quick update on the awards, Ian. The awards are not going to happen live, as we've talked about before, down at the venue. Instead, we are going to have live YouTube streaming on Wednesday, the 26th. So I hope you've got this booked in for next week, 8 p.m. It's part of a Swift Half special. We're recording Swift Half special. But on the back of this, we have got some freebies. So kit bricks, caffeine bullet, other things that we've got free, we are taking down with us. And we are going to go down at nuts, and they're going to be on the boss stand. So if you've watched the awards, I want people who've watched the awards to put a comment on. If you're watching it live, put a comment on. But there are going to be some freebies down there. There are some that are going to be reserved. So there are currently 35 of everything reserved, and they're the people who actually paid for tickets that we've actually refunded. So if they go down to nuts, we have got something for all of them. But we've got kit brick stickers, slap bands, caffeine bullets, and some other things hopefully is going to be coming as well. And we will also have all the winners' trophies are going to be down at nuts as well at the British Hospital Sports stands. So if you've won a trophy, you can pick it up there. If not, we will post it out to you in the coming weeks.
Just checking, Alan. Did we win them all?
Ian, we didn't win a single thing. And I'm letting the cat out of the bag here. We and you didn't win a single thing.
You know, I knew it was an outside shot when I saw that we weren't actually nominated for anything, but still, you never know. Crazier things could happen. Yeah, I thought I had a chance at Young Personality of the Year.
I thought you did. I'm surprised that no one actually nominated you, Ian. I thought, with your youthful good looks, that you might well have had a chance.
God, how many lies can you say in one sentence?
Talking about events that we have, what's coming up this Sunday, Ian, if you're listening to this on Friday, on Sunday of this week, Nuclear Marshall registration opens. Woohoo! For Rush Weekend. What a massive... This is like the only event I know that actually has a launch date for Marshall registration, because everyone wants to be a Marshall at nuts.
Do you still get a dry robe if you want one?
I do believe you do, yeah. I think there's a dry robe or a free ticket or some type of credit going, yeah. I mean, what an amazing... a dry robe. I mean, what are they, about 140 quid now, I think?
Yeah, we were talking a few weeks ago about what you should expect when you volunteer, weren't we? We were chatting, I think I mentioned Conquer Fitness, how it was only giving a 50% off code. And then some people actually pointed out, well, for how little you're working, by that I mean how little time you're spending there. You're obviously working hard, but in terms of how long you're out on course, 50% is about right. But you could really go above and beyond when it comes to rewarding people. And maybe some of these other races should be looking into that. If you could get a partnership with someone like a dry robe, or if it's fitness racing, I don't know, with MyProtein or something, and you could do a goodie bag for all the volunteers, people might be interested.
I think it's good. Nuclear treat their volunteers and marshals with so much love. There's that hashtag love mud they have. It should be hashtag love mud, hashtag love marshals, because they give so much love to them.
They do. I still have my dry. Well, I should clarify that the nuclear dry roll that they kindly gifted to us at First Awards still lives in the house, although I haven't worn it for a long time. The interns worn it a lot.
The interns. So that's the perks of being an intern. We're going to get inundated now with people wanting to be an intern. We're going to have to launch an intern registration platform, very similar to what this is a great segue. Very similar to what Tough Mudder and Spartan have launched this week.
Yeah, though it looks like it was only in America that they're basically retiring Rostify, and you'll probably remove that awkward pause, Alan, but fingers crossed it doesn't remove that awkward pause. If not, I've just said they're retiring Rostify and moving everything to the Spartan website, which I love you, Spartan, but please get a better web designer because your websites are so hard to navigate.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. You can never find anything. I love going onto Tough Mudder's website. You want to book a race, it's there, it's easy to find. But you go onto Spartan's website, you want to book a race, you've got to choose what race, whether it's a sprint to 5K, sprint to super or a beast, what country it's in. Is it an Hurricane Heat? Is it a championship race? Are you running elite? Are you running fun? It's mind-boggling.
It is. I experienced this firsthand this weekend. This week leading into a weekend because on social media, Deca Europe put out that there was a Deca Strong, a Deca Mile happening in Stockport, which is not a million miles from me. It's just down the road, just doxing myself a little bit. Well, most people know where I live anyway. But there's one in Stockport, and I thought, okay, cool. I wonder if there's still tickets available. So I went to the website to try and find this out. Could I find it? No, not a sausage. So I went the back door way. You know how if you know where the Deca tickets are kept.
Yeah.
I went the back door way, and there it was, however, out of order. As in, you had a load of races for this coming weekend. Then you had races for March, then April, and then this one right at the bottom.
Oh, no.
Just, it makes no sense. And yeah, I'm terrified for Tough Mudder and for Spartan for future volunteers because that website, if it gives us stuff information, it may tell the Spartan HQ that you got 500 volunteers when actually no one's been able to navigate it.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. You've got to have people who's going to have to navigate on that, which is a good segue to the next section here, which is even begin the segues thing. Navigate with volunteers to what's been in the news this week, which is a 10K trail race in Glasgow. Not a registered volunteer, but a volunteer who just walked onto the course to a certain section of the course with her high vis vest on, and decided that she was going to direct runners, which is absolutely brilliant. I think it's a great thing to do. You know, be a volunteer for the day, ask for nothing in return. However, there is a slight miscalculation here. Instead of directing them left, she directed them right. She took the signage down and directed them down the wrong route. 115 of the participants went 2.5 miles or 2.5 kilometers off course because this woman had sent them down the wrong way, and then she vanished.
So what do we think happened? Like, did she have an official bib on, or is this just a case of no one questions a high vis?
I think it's a case of no one questions a high vis. I think she's the way it reads. I mean, the race directors are calling her a saboteur. You know, I don't know if that's the word, because they're saying that she hid signage. So she pulled signage off and hid it and directed people left or right when they should have gone the other direction. I get it from a race director's point of view. They're really angry about it. It spoilt their race. They're offering everyone who went the wrong direction, they're offering 50% of their next trail run. Or is it actually great marketing, Ian?
Oh, you're cynical, but that's clever. And technically, I don't agree with that. They should have to pay 25% more because they've already had 25% more of a race.
Exactly. Exactly. And I mean, this is made Sky News. This is how big this is. This is made Sky News. And you don't get 10K local trail runs that only have 200 people rocking up to making Sky News. This is a massive thing.
This was clever, like you say, inadvertently, because it could be two things, couldn't it? It could be maybe a YouTube prankster having a laugh, and soon we're going to get a YouTube video saying, how I ruined 100 people's PBs or something like that. Or more likely, it's a local who doesn't appreciate their walking route being messed with. And now they've made it worse because so many people are going to want to do this race. And I bet you a lot will also like to do the alternative route too.
That could actually be a gimmick for them in future years. Do the 2025 route and just send people for an extra 2.5 kilometer run.
Yeah, if this is marketing, it's genius. If this was someone trying to ruin a race, this is leopards ate my face kind of stupidity.
It's absolutely brilliant. I love it. And I just, when I saw it, I didn't know whether to laugh or not to start with. But the more I think about it, the more cynical I'm getting. That it sort of wasn't necessarily a prankster. It was, I don't know. One of the things that made me worry not a prankster is because all the pictures on it are all done by Acorn Trails, which is the company that put the race on. So they've supplied all the pictures to this article on Sky News, and no one else's pictures on there. It actually says picture courtesy of Acorn Trails. So they've got a lot of branding on there.
That's clever. I think that what we'll have to do is at Farmyard this time, I'll bring my high vis down and I'll direct people. I don't know. I'll figure it out. The only problem is where you are, it'd be dangerous to direct people off the route. They'd all be eaten by cows.
Yeah, there will be bears and cows and things like that.
They will. Getting back to Spartan and Tough Mudder for a second. Firstly, we don't know yet whether or not this volunteer thing will work. We hope it does. We're just having fun because Spartan's not got the best reputation when it comes to website. But you pointed this out to me. How many discounts are you getting on Facebook from Spartan and Tough Mudder at the moment?
So many, Ian. So many. We know that they've got the ambassadors because we're talking to ambassadors on a regular basis. But Tough Mudder, 25% off. Spartan, I think, at minute is book one ticket and get 50% off for your partner. Or it was on Valentine's Day. I think it's now 25% off. But everywhere I turn, whether you're looking at a reel on Facebook, it breaks halfway through and comes up with a Tough Mudder or a Spartan video. Whether you're actually online, you're looking at some websites, you're getting Tough Mudder, Spartan adverts. It just seems to be everywhere at this moment in time. And Tough Mudder, Spartan have gone discount crazy.
Has it hit the Alton Towers level now? Because as you know, Alton Towers basically kept raising the price. I don't think that Tough Mudder and Spartan have done a price raise recently, or if they have, it's a historic one, shall we say. But Alton Towers got to this silly situation where the on the day price was about 60, 70 quid because they knew everyone was coming with Kellogg's 2-for-1 vouchers. And yeah, they just thought, well, no one's going to pay that price anyway, so we'll just raise that artificially. And we know that we're probably going to get half of that. And they're now stuck in, as in Alton Towers, are stuck in a discount maze where no one will ever just rock up and buy it. If you don't have a discount or you don't have an annual pass, you're not going. And could Tough Mudder and Spartan end up the same way, that if you don't have a ticket you bought from a discount or you don't have an annual pass, you're not going to turn up?
I think they could. I think we do live in a world at this moment in time where we are discount crazy. Everyone wants a discount. Overload gets more questions asked of it every week. Someone sends a message saying, "Have you got a discount code? Have you got a discount code? Can I have a free race? Can I have a free race?" They're raising money for Alfie the Hamster or something like that. Sometimes you do actually get genuine ones as well. I'm using that as a bit of a joke. it's hard to turn around and say no to them. I mean, and Toughenwood are just putting the discounts out there. There's a few races. Nuclear have never ever given a discount to my knowledge, yet they have so many people turn up. People know how much they're going to have to pay. They have the price rises on set times. They advertise them price rises. This is how much it's going to be. This is how much it's going to be. Get in first. The days are gone now where an event could open up at an early bird price and instantly sell out the first wave or the second wave. We're now at a point now where you really have got to, you can wait for a discount code halfway through the season and still maybe book the first or the second wave, with the exception of maybe one or two events. So, yeah, I don't know. Are they doing the right thing? Will it spoil the brand? I don't know. Time will tell, Ian. Time will tell.
I want to pick up that thread you've just said there about waiting till last minute. Pick that up in a second. But before that, I'm sure we've got one final piece of Spartan news. I understand that there's something happening with Spartan women.
Oh, Ian, I'm not going to tell you about that. I've got Dawn. Dawn, come here and tell Ian all about this.
Dawn Jollies, welcome to the Swift Half. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Alan. How are you?
I'm good. You've never been at Swift Half before, have you?
No, it is the first time in the pub, and yeah, I think we've done a podcast before, but it's the first time I've entered the pub. So yeah, thanks for having me.
It's cool. People think it's an honour to come in the pub. It's not really an honour. It's just that we don't invite many people. We're a pub that doesn't want business. And I got you on because I saw a post that you popped out this week about Spartan and empowering women, and I can't put it out there like you can. So I want to get you on just to chat about it and see what it all entails.
Yeah, so I think the post you're referring to is probably the one that I put on Facebook, and so everybody knows Spartan, and everybody knows what Spartan's about, and and the different races and the different race formats that they have. But maybe what they don't know about is the other side, the slightly, should we call it the darker side of Spartan?
Dark side, I like this.
And they call it the extreme endurance side of Spartan, and on paper, it sounds horrendous. When you look at some of the formats they have. So they have a thing called the Death Race, which is utterly bonkers and utterly crazy. And they do a summer Death Race version and they do a winter Death Race. They also have a thing called the Agoge, which you touched on because some stupid people in the UK have decided the Agoge would be a good thing to try and do this year. But they also have things called Hurricane Heats. And they have 3 formats of the Hurricane Heats: 24 hours, 12 hours, and 4 hours. We tend to only see the 12-hour and the 4-hour in the UK. And how they came about was a little bit of history. 2011, Hurricane Irene absolutely battered America. And it closed down loads of OCR races, loads of races that was happening on the weekend. The authorities turned around and said, no, you can't do it. You can't have them. Races have to stop. Spartan being Spartan went, do you know what, people? If you want to race, turn up 5 a.m. at this race site in Boston and we'll race. And some people did. Some people turned up in the middle of the hurricane to race. And that's where the Hurricane Heat came from.
Crazy people.
Mental people. And it's not a race. It's really different. I did my first one in 2022 and I did the 4-hour Hurricane Heat, and we built a bookshelf. We rolled up hills with books. We did a book exchange. We did a lot of burpees. We took a bookcase and a table over the A-frame and various things. So it's kind of like, if you had to liken it to anything, I would probably say it's like corporate team building, but with a twist.
Yeah. Very big twist. Carrying a table over an A-frame is a big twist.
Yeah, and no 2 events are the same. So they're headed up by people called a crypteer. So you'll maybe have one, or you'll have a number of crypteers. You won't know what you're going to face. You'll be given a mandatory kit list. One of the things that is a given is that you'll have a ruck. For women, it's for women, it's £20, and for men, it's £35, and that's your dry weight. And then you'll just get a random kit list before the event to say, right, you need to turn up with this. So the one I did, like I say, we had to turn up with a bookshelf and a book. and then there was just different team challenges, but it's so unique and it's so different, and it's just I just think, there's so many people out there that maybe won't want to do a Spartan race because they don't like running.
Yeah.
Or they go, oh, I haven't got enough upper body strength to do all of the obstacles. So this is different. You're in teams, you're put together with people that you've never met before. And again, that was quite scary to me. I was like, what if I let the team down? Oh my God, what if I can't do it? What if I let the team down? What if I'm rubbish? But everybody comes together. So everybody comes together, and the teamwork is amazing. I kind of wanted to put a call out to say, actually, do you know what? If you don't like running and you don't want to do a Spartan race because you think I can't run 5K or 10K or 21K, come and try something different. It's just different. It's just different. And they can come in at the 4-hour one. It starts at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So, if you're there on a weekend with your family, maybe, and the kids are packed up in the hotel with dad, then come back to the race site and come and do something of an evening.
This is for women, isn't it? I mean, you the shout out is for women.
The shout out to women. Yeah, absolutely. And there again, with everything that tends to happen with a lot of these events, there are women that do them, but it's a minority. There's a small selection of women that come and do these events. And this shout out is let's get more women there. Let's get more women to come and to just try something completely different, because they are a lot of fun. And it's not like it's not about the running. It's not about, we might not cover a huge amount of distance at all. You might only go 1 kilometer away from the race village. And it's just lots of functional fitness, lots of different challenges. I think last year there was videos of the guys in the 12-hour heat. They had to take a tire and they lost their tire on the top of the A-frame. And there's videos of this tire rolling down the hill in the Midlands. And then they got to chase it. It's just, I would love to see more women out there coming and having a go.
And whereabouts are you going to do this?
So we're going to do the 4-hour this year is in the Midlands, and it will be the Saturday evening. So like I say, from 6 o'clock, and that's on the 12th of July is the 4-hour. I mean, if anybody wants to tackle the 12-hour, that's on the Friday night. It starts at 6 o'clock in the evening, and then it finishes 6 o'clock-ish Saturday morning. So if anybody wants to take the 12-hour on, there are a small handful of us doing what we pleasantly know as the trifecta at Midlands,
which is,
so everyone's heard of the trifecta, which is the beast, the super, and the sprint. So the trifecta is the 12-hour Hurricane Heat on the Friday night, beast Saturday morning, 4-hour Hurricane Heat Saturday night, super Sunday morning, and sprint Sunday afternoon.
Oh my God.
It sounds like a really good idea on paper, but I'm going to tackle that this year, thinking that I've got the Agogi coming up in October, so that will be my test for a lot of my gear and a lot of my nutrition and a lot of actually can I cope with. So I've got an extra challenge this year, and a lot of people probably don't know this. People know within OCR community and the competitive side that I've had problems with my vision over the last year. I had a little operation at the end of last year to try and correct it. Hasn't really worked. So I have lost the central part of the vision on my right eye.
Right.
So for me, it's a massive challenge to see whether I can get through the night on an event, not really being able to see that well. So that's my personal challenge this year. So I think if I can put myself out there and face those fears and those challenges, girls, come and help me out on the Saturday night when we'll be hanging and need all of that moral support. So 12th of July starts at 6 o'clock, 4 hours.
It'll be nice and sunny. It could be July. It'll be nice and sunny. And
it won't get dark until probably 9-10 o'clock.
Yeah, you're only about an hour in the dark, I think. That's bit.
You'll be tucked up in bed by 11 o'clock. Absolutely
exactly.
Fine. Yeah, you're perfect.
Somehow I don't think that's going to happen. It sounds fun. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be joining you. That's just me out the way. Before anyone asks about this, I'm not going to be joining, but I wish you all the luck. And do people just sign up through the normal way on Spartan website?
Yeah, if you head up to Spartan's website, you can sign up for the normal way. You just go onto the Midlands event and look for the Hurricane Heat. Like I said, there's two formats there, the 12-hour and the 4-hour. Spartan, being Spartan, are absolutely fabulous. They are so behind getting people signed up. And in particular, you know, they're super, super keen and super behind, you know, empowering these women to come out on course. Last year, they put the Women's Empowerment Wave on for us on the sprint, where we got, I think, somewhere in the region of about 40 women out on course for the very first time for their sprints. So to get behind this, what they've done is they've given me a discount code, very generous, 30%.
Oh, wow.
First 5 people to sign up. So if they use code POD30, so POD30, first 5 people signing up to that 4-hour Hurricane Heat at the Midlands will get 30% discount. They've then given us another discount code of POD20, and that will get anybody 20% discount until the end of February. If you want to sign up for the 12-hour, if you want that extra challenge, go and find any of the friendly Spartan ambassadors. You can find a list of them on social media, either on Facebook or Instagram. For that 12-hour, reach out to any of the ambassadors and they can give you their codes, which will give you a 20% off to sign up for the 12-hour. But yeah, if we can get loads of women onto that 4-hour, I would be super, super happy.
Be amazing. It would be an amazing thing. Thank you for popping in, Dawn. It's been absolutely amazing chatting to you. I wish you all the best. And we'll put those codes in our chat as well. So if you listen to this before the end of February, which you've not only got a week to listen to, then pop into the description. You've got your codes in there as well.
Amazing. Thanks for having me, Alan. Good to see you, and see you soon.
Cheers, Dawn. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Dawn. Thanks for that. And Alan, it just kind of fits in all our segues. Another discount code, but you got to get in there fast, aren't you?
End of February and it expires. So, yeah, use it. 5 people get 30% off and then the rest get 25. Yeah, get in there quick.
Absolutely, get in there quick. But the thought I had before Dawn came in and told us all about this fantastic Hurricane Heat that they're going to be doing is, I don't know about you, Alan. I know you have an A race. Your A race is, I believe, World's Toughest Mudder.
Yes, that's right.
I realised something the other day. I don't have an A race this year. And in actual fact, my calendar is fairly empty. And it's weird. I don't think I've had this for a while. Or if I did, I can't remember. But yeah, I've got High Rocks with the intern in Glasgow. We're then going to Malaga for a relay, so that's just fun with Claire, Mike, and the rest of Team Hogan. I'm not racing High Rocks London. The intern is dumping me for Claire. Better option, let's be honest. After that, at the moment, although there are rumours of maybe other fitness racing, I have nothing but then until the Deca I'm doing with the intern. And even that is probably not an A race because we're just doing it as doubles to have fun. I do not have an A race this year.
Wow. That's like, but in the same sentence though, Ian, my A race is because I want to do well at Worlds. You know, I want to do well at some other events. You know, I want to go down to Nuts next week and do well at Nuts. I'm going to go to Duel in March. I want to do well at Duel. I've got a few other races planned. But for me, the Worlds is the race I want to go to. It's the only race I really want to go to this year. And it's because I want to do well at it. I don't want to just go and make the numbers up, if that makes sense. I want to see how far I can physically push myself. First stage is that 50-mile mark. Second stage is that 75. You know, I've got 2 goals: 50, 75. Hit the 50, and then try and get to 75. If I do, I do. I'll be well happy if I do. If I don't, I don't. You know, but that's where I'm making my A race. I don't think, as an athlete, there's many people out there now that have A races. We talked about there's so many races out there the other day. You know, let's take Dan Titcombe, for instance, and I haven't asked him this question, so if he listens, he can message me in. But I'm going to assume that his 2 big races are probably the Euros and the Worlds. his two big races. But are they his A races? Because he'll probably still want to compete really well in the UK OCR series and win that title again. So has he got lots of A races?
That's a good question. Like, do you have like a series of A race? I'm not sure, because it's just that strange thing, isn't it? That A race is something that the elite athletes have, like the A race is like London Marathon or Berlin Marathon, but it kind of seeps into the rest of us, and we all kind of also have these events that you were really looking forward to and preparing for. But you're right. Do we technically need them when a lot of times we're just racing week in, week out? Well, not week in, week out, but do you remember the old days of OCR when you would do like 50 races a year and some double weekends? I bet you none of them were an A race.
There weren't. There were some races I wanted to go to do well in. I always wanted to go to Tough Mudder and not Tough Mudder, to Tough Guy and do well at Tough Guy. You know what I mean? But it was never an A race to me, because I'd also want to go to Wolf Run and try and do my best at Wolf Run. Or I want to go to Mud, Sweat and Beers or wherever I went to go to. I always wanted to run at my best, but I never chose an A race. It's interesting that. You speak to a lot of IROX athletes, and I'm going to assume at IROX their A race would be the world champs, but they've got to have another A race to get to that world champs.
Yeah, they would. They do tend to look at the calendar. The serious athletes will look at the calendar and kind of like circle the ones that they're going to do well at. I guess it technically would be B races as well in there. So you'd have your one that you're aiming for, and then you'd have the backup race. If you don't get in, that's what you do. So a lot of serious athletes will do that. But you are right, Alan. As a non-serious athlete, do I actually need to be worried about not having an A race? I do wonder, everyone in the pub, do you have an A race? And what is it?
Good question. Let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can pick this up. I want to say next week, but next week we might be a little bit busy, but we'll pick it up a week after if we don't pick it up next week.
We will, yeah. Talking about A races, Duel at the Obstacle Gym, 22nd of March, I want to say. There's a competition going off on our Instagram at this moment in time. All you've got to do is put a little thing on there. You've only got a week to enter it, people. One free person's going to get to run against me. Not run against me, because you can run your own race, but we're going to run off together in the time trial. So get your name on. It's coming on about 3 people, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't wait to see who actually steps up to the plate for that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to going down there. Never been there before, so it's great for me. Going to love it. What's this about Hyrox? So you've got something on here as well, Ian. This is Dawn. You can switch off now, yeah? Because I know Dawn put a message on last week. We had technical difficulties. That she didn't mind missing the last 20 minutes, Ian, because it was all fitness racing and Dawn's very much OCR. So Dawn can switch off now. But then she can't, because we've got some more OCR left. But let's talk about Hyrox for a second.
Yeah, we try to outsmart her. But yeah, Hyrox, we got a press release on this. We won't need to spend too much on this. If you remember, they went to a new timing system, and the crowd went mild for it, shall we say, and it caused a lot of upset. So they've gone back to Mika timing for the rest of the year whilst they develop it. So I do wonder how much it's cost them, because if I'm Mika timing, it's like, oh, well, if you want to use us for the rest of the year, we think it's this much.
Oh, can you imagine that negotiation? Well, you didn't want us. And prices have gone up since you said you didn't want us.
Can you imagine? I'm glad I didn't have to make that call, but I will give Hyrox their flowers for actually recognizing there's an issue. They probably don't have enough time to sort it out properly. So let's take a step backwards to go forward. So well done to Hyrox for that, I guess. What else have we got listed, Al?
Obstacle Play Park. They're doing a Spartan workshop on Saturday, the 22nd of March. So if you don't win the Duel ticket to run with me, you can head down to the Obstacle Play Park, Mark Logan's what do you want to call it, play area, and you can do a Spartan workshop down there. 10 while 1.
That sounds fun, actually, and I quite like how it's been branded as a Spartan workshop as well, because we've had quite a lot of European championship workouts and world championships, and we know a Spartan race and the continental type of OCR running is slightly different. So it's quite good to have another form of OCR featured in one of these workshops.
Definitely. I've actually been down to the obstacle play park, and a lot of he has nearly all the Spartan obstacles down there. He's actually, Mark's gone, looked at Spartan and gone, right, okay, so I need this because Spartan's got it. So everything, I want to say everything, last time I went down, that Spartan had, he had. So yeah, interesting.
Absolutely. What else we got?
We've got a new patron this week. Big shout out to Bill Weir for signing up. I think he told me a few years ago he was going to sign up. He's finally got around to it. Thank you, Bill, for becoming a Spartan. It's all Spartan for becoming a patron. It's always much appreciated. And I think, Ian, that's all of my notes done for the week.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think we've done all right this week, getting through it all. Obviously, next week, listener, it's going to be a little bit different. I am worried that anyone who joins us live isn't going to have much to listen to on the Friday because, of course, we'll record it early. People can come and witness it. I think what we should say, Alan, is we're going to try and get a schedule out. So if people don't want to stay for the whole awards, we hope you are. But if there's one or two awards you want to watch, we'll try and get a schedule out. I think the initial draft has it in 15-minute increments, and I'm sure it'll work out because we never mess that kind of stuff up.
No, never, ever.
No, it'll be like clockwork, I'm sure. But yeah, we'll get a schedule out. So if you can't commit to everything next Wednesday, you could always pop in for the award you want, and then you could pick up the Swift Half, which will still be released on the Friday, Alan.
On the Friday, yes, on the podcast.
Right, and with all that being said, thank you so much for listening, but it's a goodbye from me.
And listeners, thank you for listening. If you're into nutrition as well, don't forget to listen to Monday's podcast with James from Enduro Sports. You're going to learn a lot about nutrition. I learned a lot, and there's a lot of questions answered as well that you guys sent in. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, keep on running, and we'll speak to you all soon. Bye!